Coming up on Food Factory USA.
A poultry trifecta.
Sweet fruit on a stick.
But first, a brightly colored iconic condiment. I want the mustard.
You can't handle the mustard!
Is what we might say if we were in a movie.
I am your mustard.
They may take our lives, but they'll never take our mustard! I'll be mustard.
Are all things we might say if we were in a movie in space, 13th century Scotland, or a fictional future controlled by robots. Eating mustard.
But we're not. We're in Springfield, Missouri, the home of French's mustard, eating mustard.
Sidebar, French's mustard. Not actually French.
Frankly, my dear, I don't give a mustard.
French's mustard is the #1 selling mustard in America, has 0 calories, and is all natural and gluten-free.
And it tastes pretty good, too. Brian Worth, operation manager at French's, is here to tell us just how good it tastes.
I just finished my lunch.
Brian, you have a little,
Did I get it?
Timo Olashinsky is the senior brand manager here at French's. He knows all about mustard spills. Right, Timo?
It stains, mustard stains.
So what do you do if you get mustard on your shirt, Timo?
If I stain my shirt with mustard, this will become a mustard eating shirt.
We're wearing ours right now.
So let's get started. Mustard making begins with mustard seed, and mustard seed arrives on the mustard train.
A tube is connected to the bottom of the rail car, and the seed is sucked out using forced air.
The seeds are transferred to these holding silos, which can hold around 165,000 pounds apiece.
Next is the vinegar delivery, which arrives on these trucks.
The vinegar is also held in silos until it's ready to be brought out to the production floor.
Meanwhile, back inside, mustard seed is cleaned before it's used in a production batch. Using this vibrating screen tray, which throws the seeds forward and sifts out any impurities.
Now, just to be clear, the mustard seed has already been cleaned, but they like to clean it again.
We buy a grade 1 mustard seed that's already been cleaned before we buy it, but we feel like we should clean it again.
Fair enough, Brian. These guys use over 1,000 pounds of mustard seed in each batch.
And thanks to some additional recreational math, Brian is also able to tell us the following.
I recently figured out the amount of seeds in a 14-ounce bottle of mustard, and it was over 10,000.
Right. So while cleaned mustard seed is held in these smaller silos, the wet ingredients are ready to be mixed.
So, salt water, or brine, together with the vinegar, are measured into a batch tank.
The remaining dry ingredients are prepared in the imaginatively named dry ingredient room. And that's the job of this man named Jason.
The main dry ingredient is turmeric, a natural spice which enhances the flavor.
But Jason is also blending some other spices that he's just dying to tell us about because it's definitely not top secret.
I can't tell you that's top secret, so.
Now, whatevs, man. We'll just ask our new friend here, Timo.
Well, I would say it's been our secret for over 100 years, and it'll stay our secret for the future.
That's not gonna cut the mustard. So, the spices from the dry ingredient room get transferred to the batch tank, where they're mixed with the wet ingredients and the mustard seed to form a slurry. Once mixed, the slurry is metered to a set of rotating stone mills to finely grind the slurry into French's classic yellow mustard.
It's in these stone mills that the slick test is conducted. And that's the job of this man named Tim.
Slick.
Tim here is inserting a knife into the mix to check its consistency. A smooth grind gives a creamy style to the finished mustard.
So, do you ever wish your knife was a hot dog, Tim?
All the time. I love it.
Do you eat a lot of mustard, Tim?
I guess I eat it a lot, but just on sandwiches mainly.
We like it on avocados.
I actually put it in tuna as well.
Well, I've run out of things to ask Tim, so let's ask him to do a little dance before we move on.
Ah, wow, you put me on the spot. Well, hey, I guess we could. There we go. Oh,
You can't see us.
But we're totally dancing with you, dude.
oh, where you go. That's all I know.
Man, I could hang out here all day.
But we can't, because it's time for a break and a question.
Which famous historical figure was so fond of mustard that he appointed his own mustard maker? Was it A, Napoleon Bonaparte, B, Henry VIII, Or C, Pope John the 22nd?
And the answer is C, Pope John the 22nd, who created a new Vatican position and appointed his nephew, Grand Moutardier du Pape, mustard maker to the Pope.
Fascinating. Here at French's Mustard Factory, located on Mustard Way in Springfield, Missouri, we've been learning all about what goes into mustard.
I can't tell you that top secret.
And then we wasted some time with this guy just because we could.
There we go. Oh, where you go?
The mixed mustard is cooled via a series of heat exchangers, then held in these 37,000-gallon tanks in preparation for filling.
Empty bottles are loaded in from these enormous totes.
The bottles are conveyed to an unscrambler, which correctly orients them using this fast-spinning wheel. They're then blasted with air to sanitize them ahead of the filler.
A piston filler shoots the mustard into the bottles at a rate of around 300 bottles per minute. Whoa.
Caps are loaded in manually, then shot up a tube to feed the capper.
This rotary capper puts a swift lid on each of the bottles and then sends them off to be sealed. While capped mustard bottles are sorted into 4 lanes on this conveyor.
Then batched into groups of 16 bottles.
Flat boxes are automatically loaded onto conveyors.
Then batched bottles are slid into the open ends and boxes are closed around them.
Those boxes are shrouded in shrink wrap.
Then conveyed into the shipping department, where they're palletized and wrapped, ready to send to mustard-loving consumers to put on
On
their...
their shelves.
And then to open the package and squirt onto their
Sandwiches, salads,
hot dogs,
hot dogs,
avocados.
mustard on avocados. Actually sounds good.
It is good.
Do you enjoy an avocado, Timo?
I do.
We enjoy the occasional avocado ourselves.
Great. Good for you to put some mustard on it.
We might, Timo. We just might.
So are we done now? Is it over? Thank you. I really need some mustard now.
Can we get some avocados in here? Huh?
What is a mustard bath?
Bathing in mustard is said to draw out toxins and help to relieve sore and tired muscles. And it makes you yellow. Okay, what's better than one kind of meat?
3.
Well, all the meat. What's better than all the meat?
Yes!
You know, you're right. That's way better than all the meat.
All the meat and that awesome lady can be found here at Echelon Foods' 420,000 square foot factory in Bettendorf, Iowa, where they produce turduckens.
Turduckens?
Gobble, gobble, quack, quack, ducky.
That wasn't helpful.
That's Pam.
I am quality assurance supervisor / meat room turducken supervisor / safety coordinator.
Pam, please break down the turducken for us. What is it?
Turkey, duck, and chicken with stuffing in it.
Mike Moser, the director of sales, is here to answer one very pressing question. Are turduckens real birds?
I've been in calls where people say, is there a turducken? What does it look like? So there is not a bird that's a turducken.
Bummer. Let's get quacking inside then.
You know, that was bad.
Every day starts in the tempering room.
It's where you get your product to the temperature that you can actually work with it.
And once the meats are warmed up, they're ready to meet their destiny. Their turducken destiny.
Destiny. Destiny. Destiny. Destiny. Destiny. Destiny. Destiny.
Okay.
The process begins with the turkeys and Denise.
I make turducken.
All hail the turducken queen!
The turducken queen.
I bet Denise dreams of turducken.
Yeah, I have dreams of buckets of turkeys all the time. They're chasing me, and they're never going away. Just buckets and buckets and buckets of turkeys.
You know, work dreams are always the most terrifying.
Always. Denise, alongside her meaty pals, debone the turkeys. Every year, they use 280,000 pounds of raw turkey.
Meat is stripped off the carcass, and the rib cage is pulled out very carefully as one piece.
Deboned turkeys are moved to a freezer where they will wait while the duck and chicken are prepared.
Fly, birdie, fly! There you go.
Okay, before we meet our next bird brain, let's take a break.
If you thought a turkey stuffed with meat was neat, can you guess what the largest stuffed delicacy in the world is? Is it A, camel, B, bluefin tuna, or C, bison?
The answer is A, camel. Whole stuffed camels are traditionally served at Arab weddings. The camel is stuffed with a whole lamb and 20 chickens, among other ingredients.
Before the break, we learned that 3 meats are better than 1. We met Pam,
Gobble, gobble, quack, quack, ducky.
and then we deboned turkeys with Denise.
You're Turducken Queen.
Now let's meet Leah.
My name's Leah Price. I work in the meat room making turduckens.
And
My butterfly duck breasts.
amazing. What's the trick here?
The secret to cutting is a very sharp knife. If you don't have a sharp knife, it's going to be no good.
Got it. Do you have a duck call?
I do not have a duck call,
Bummer.
but there are some really crazy calls that other people make around here.
We know.
Good. Now to our final flyers, duck and chicken.
Duck and chicken breasts are skinned and butterflied side by side. Every year, 30,000 duck breasts and 30,000 chicken breasts are used.
Holy duck! The last piece of the turducken puzzle is the stuffing, which is where Shane comes in.
Stuff your stars in a sack, mister.
Whoa, yeah, the easy Costanza. Shane's not the friendliest here at the turducken factory. He must constantly have to stand up to bullies in the meat community, since he only makes the stuffing.
Tell us what's in the stuffing, champ.
30 pounds of Italian sausage, 4 cans of chicken broth, and 13 pounds of breadcrumbs. Amazing. Easiest way to put it, it's amazing.
Well done, Shane.
Okay, so now it's time to stitch these birds together into one badass Frankenstein bird.
It's alive.
Yeah, we'll chat with you later, Mike.
We've got more important meaty things to get done right now.
Yep, the turkey is spread open, and the stuffing mixture Shane made is put in. The duck is added into the cavity of the bird, sprinkled with seasoning, then stuffing is placed on top. Then finally, the chicken breast is added, then more seasoning, and even more stuffing.
You know, you'd think this thing has been stuffed enough, really.
We stuffed that bird full of love.
Yeah, Mike, didn't you get the hint? We have things going on right now. No time to chit-chat all willy-nilly.
Once the birds have come together, it's time to stitch them up so they don't fall apart. Allie is here to walk us through the wildly complicated 6-point stitch.
You start off with the tail, and you just go on like 2 through the body. You get the neck, and you come back around. That's pretty much it.
Even I can make one.
Mike.
I'm not a great cook.
Once stitched, the drumsticks are pulled and tied together. Then the turducken is seasoned.
Completed turduckens are placed into bagged buckets. They're pulled out of the bucket and sealed.
From there, they go into the cryback machine, which sucks the air out of the bag. From there, they go to the metal detector to make sure there's not any foreign objects of metal in there.
Turduckens are submerged in hot water for 10 seconds to shrink the packaging. Then placed into an ice bath to cool the birds down.
Turduckens are placed into boxes 2 at a time, then sent into a flash freezer.
Yeah, you know, and after a long day of turducken making, there's only one real way to let your hair down and unwind.
These guys are a bunch of crazy turkeys.
These guys? Nah. Pam's the boss. She sets the tone. Let's check in with her.
Chicken, chicken, bo bacon, banana, banana, bo bacon, fee, fi, bo bacon, chicken.
See?
Turkey, 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 banana, banana, bo burkey, fee, fi, bo turkey.
Yeah, not crazy at all.
Banana, banana, bo bug, fee, fi, bo or duck. Oh, now we gotta edit that out.
Maybe it's time to talk to Mike.
We're all about dignity. Yes.
All right, this is out of hand. It's time to go.
All right, so let's forget about everything we just saw then and remember the glory of the turducken.
Yes.
Just remember, folks, 3 meats are always better than 1.
What do turduckens and the NFL have in common?
John Madden, the famous commentator, brought a turducken on camera during a Thanksgiving game in 1997. What?
You know, if you ever feel like a taffy apple, yeah, I got a guy.
Oh, yeah? I'm listening.
This guy, Bill Henry, CFO and COO of Affy Tapple's Caramel Apples in Niles, Illinois.
You need apples? I got a guy.
Yep, sweet, juicy apples dipped in rich, milky caramel and coated with crunchy peanuts.
So you got a guy for peanuts, too?
We got a guy for peanuts.
How about milk?
We got a guy for milk.
How about a fun dancing mascot, Bill? Got a guy for that?
Yeah, we got a guy.
Sweet. Check out the dance. Yeah.
It's better than you.
Yeah, a little. So, tell us a little bit about the caramel and apple combination. Is it a good relationship?
It's a very intimate relationship. I gotta tell you, the combination of caramel, apples, and nuts, you have to experience it to understand. But once you do, you'll come back, and we got you.
Wow, you're experiencing it.
It got us.
Yeah, I'm kind of wondering whether this is the most appropriate place to be eating an Affy Tapple.
There is no inappropriate place. I can't think of a bad place to eat a caramel apple, except maybe underwater.
Yeah, you're probably right.
I'm having a hard time with this caramel. It's delicious. Doesn't get better than this.
No, it does not. So let's get cooking, kiddies. This is the candy kitchen. These are the caramel cookers. And this is Miguel.
Miguel pours evaporated milk into the fire mixer and starts blending. A fire mixer stirs the batch while heating it and has been a standard in the confectionery industry for over 100 years.
Glucose syrup is pumped directly in. Then, Miguel adds sweetened condensed milk, corn sweetener, and sugar.
Once blended and heated to a perfect caramel consistency, the mix is removed from the heat and poured through a fine sieve into a holding tank.
Meanwhile, crates of apples are forklifted onto the factory floor, hoisted, fed onto the production line.
They pass through a size grater to filter out any undersized apples.
The runty ones get the boot.
It's a sad thing, but yes, it's unfair. We discriminate against the peewee apples.
The remaining apples roll through a brush cleaner to remove any debris, and then they're ready for some serious sticking.
A team of factory workers transfer apples from the conveyor into the sticking machine.
The sticking machine is pretty simple. It rotates, shooting a wooden stick into successive apples before dropping them back onto the production line.
From the production line, a factory worker selects stuck apples and secures them onto what looks like a moving conveyor of lollipop holders.
Cool. That conveyor flips the apples and drags them through a bath of warm caramel.
Wow, look at that. I can only imagine being dragged upside down through a bath of warm caramel.
Okay. The apples emerge coated and are spun to remove any excess caramel. As they spin, they're dipped into chopped, dry roasted peanuts.
I can only imagine being spun through a bed of dry roasted peanuts.
All right then. But nothing ruins the poetry of the moment like some fast apple stats from Bill. Take it away, Bill.
We make 20 tons of caramel a day.
And?
But typically a bin of apples has approximately 3,300 apples in it.
And?
We get about 925 apples per batch of caramel.
And?
The sticking machines run at 60 apples a minute.
And
The dipping machines run at 90 apples a minute.
And
Every minute, we use 28 pounds of peanuts.
Man, I think I'm going nuts in here.
So how many peanuts do we use in a year?
No, I said...
500 million.
okay, back to the action.
I can do fractions.
No!
Back to the action, not fraction. Where dipped coated apples are held upside down in the peanut vat so that the top gets coated.
And from here, they're loaded onto trays by factory workers.
Those trays are pushed along a conveyor, where the apples are then held for convection cooling before final packaging.
Apples are laid in plastic mold packets.
Which are snapped shut, sealed, and stickered.
Sealed packets are manually loaded into packing cartons.
Those cartons are stacked on pallets, then stored ready for distribution. Done and done.
Great. But before we go, fancy some more Bill's fun apple stats?
Oh, no, please, no more.
If you stack up all the Affy Tapples in a year, that stack is 1,700 miles tall.
Like, how does he know all this stuff?
I went through and calculated everything.
Oh, you had to ask.
I've got an Excel spreadsheet I can share.
No!
28 pounds a minute of peanuts, 28 peanuts on every single apple.
Oh, boy, I can feel a PowerPoint coming along.
I could do that. If I get to use Excel.